Hello and welcome to #Agency Life. This is Lee, and on today's show we have Belinda White. Hey, Belinda.
Hi. Hi, Lee.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Right, well, let's dive in and we're going to learn about your agency. So tell us about your agency, its name, and what you do.
So, yes, I'm Belinda White, and I run a design agency called Arttia Creative. And we specialise in website consultancy for life sciences, science websites, working with them on their website, SEO, branding.
Awesome. And if we were going to get a birthday present, get a bow on it and a birthday cake, when would we be celebrating your agency's birthday and how old are you?
Right, it would be 1st of January 2008, so we're 10 years old.
Oh, wow. So just after the iPhone was invented. Someone else on another episode was 2007.
Yeah. Well, my son was born the year the iPhone was released,
Yeah, so was my daughter. So they're both 11. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that later. I'm making a list of approved boyfriends for my daughter already. I've got 3 on the list. So.
He's a real smoothie, I tell you.
Oh, is he? Okay, maybe he goes on. Oh, no, smoothie. That might be a bad thing. Well, let's rather than matchmaking for our children, how about we look at your setup of the company?
Okay.
And how many people do you have on your team? And if it's you, do you have a pool of contractors? How's that set up?
Yeah, so I have something called a agile agency model, which I set up a few years ago, and I call it the Arttia Creative Collective.
All right.
And it's basically 6 people. So there's 6 of us in the collective, but we're all independent, but we all work together a lot on lots of projects. So I'm quite transparent about that. So the team is on the website, but it also talks about their businesses. So there's a core 6 of us. So there's myself, 2 developers, front-end, back-end developers, copywriter, and marketing strategist. And we've also got a kind of a business consultant that knows a lot about the life sciences sector. So, yeah, and we've got other people that we work with as well. So there's a photographer that we use a lot. So she's featured on our website as well. So, yeah, we've got a kind of collection of people that work predominantly on my projects, but also they've got their own things going on. Yeah, so it's really agile and flexible.
A collective of experts.
Collective, yeah. Each with their own kind of skills and experience and qualifications. Yeah, so it really kind of sets the bar high for what we can deliver.
That's really good. And do you guys have like a physical office that you would work in together sometimes, or are you more from home?
Yeah, so we're all home based.
Okay.
So have, luckily, just up the road from where I'm based, there's some office space, and we can rent meeting rooms there whenever we need to. So if I'm delivering WordPress training, which I do quite a lot, so example, yesterday I was delivering training for 5 people, so I needed the boardroom there to deliver that. But sometimes we'll just use smaller office space for discovery sessions, having a meeting with the client, or we'll go to the client's location. So that flexibility, yeah.
That's really good. I like the idea of having office space, but also you can all work from home. Now, with a collective, because this is quite different, I like the way you've grouped this together as a team of experts. Could you describe the culture that you've developed between yourselves? So
the idea of the collective is so that, or the culture I've set is transparency and flexibility. Yeah. So I don't know if you know, but my background is I've always worked in design agencies all across the UK, lots of different agencies, and the hours are very long, demanding. They want you on site. So my philosophy was starting out was that I wanted everything to be as flexible as possible for me and the team, so that it's not 9 to 5. They work whenever they want. Yes, we have project deadlines. We have schedules that we're working to, but actually I don't mind when they work on their bit. Yeah. So, for example, my copywriter, she sometimes works really late into the evening. Yeah. So that suits her. And then, the developers can work whenever they want to. So it's flexibility. As long as we hit the deadlines for the clients, I don't mind when they slot in the projects. So, yeah, it's good for their families. It's good for their kind of the way they're working. But I'm also transparent about that. So it's transparency in terms of when we're working with our clients, they know that this is a team, an agile team. Yeah. They're not staff members. They're kind of running their own businesses as well. But actually, they are under my roof, and we've got NDA signed. We've got an invoicing system that's just through my business. But they know that if they ever wanted to link up with one of those independently, that's fine as well. So it's transparency and flexibility is the culture I'm trying to set.
I really like that. Now, you have already given the game away on the next question. We have a mission section, and that is finding out what your industry or niche is. However, life sciences is very general. A lot of people won't know what that is. Are you all right to just quickly explain a bit more about the niche that you're in, and maybe even how you got into that as well?
Yeah, so life sciences, it covers biotech, medical devices, lab equipment, health software. So yes, it is quite broad, but the bit that we help them with is their website, their online presence, their visibility. So they're likely to be doing a range of other marketing activity, but we help them with that one bit. Yeah. Which sometimes they can have a weakness in. So they might be doing a lot of PR or social media or conferences and events, but their website it's not working to the maximum it could. So that's the type of businesses we work with.
And with the next question would have been, what problem do you solve? It sounds like it is the website portion of it. How did you get into the life sciences industry, if that's the right word? Is it an industry?
Sector.
Yeah. Sector. Yeah. There you go. Right word.
So my agency has been going for 10 years. So over that time, we've worked on lots of different projects for lots of different sectors. Yeah. And I've been even working on websites longer than that, so 20 years. So I've produced a lot of websites, a lot of content, worked with a lot of businesses. But with Arttia Creative, over the past few years, we've got approached by a lot of science businesses. Now, I'm based in the northeast of the UK, and there is quite a vibrant science sector, life science. There's some clusters in the area where these businesses start up and grow. Yeah. So we got approached by one or two of them, and we've produced websites for them and helped them with their branding, some of their literature, and the feedback was just fantastic. They said they hadn't worked with an agency that got what they did, that seemed to understand the complexities of what they were doing, that could interpret what they're doing. For whether it was software or whether it was some kind of medical device or something to do with the health industry, we seemed to really grasp what they did and interpret it online. So the feedback was fantastic. And actually, we really liked working on the projects. So when I was kind of assessing how to take the business forward, I thought, this is a real opportunity. We've got a strength here, a natural strength. We've got some portfolio pieces already. Let's really kind of focus on this and really help them make a difference. So that's kind of how it happened. It evolved naturally, but it seemed the feedback was fantastic. So I thought I'd run with that.
I think many niches or many businesses that have niche down, it does tend to happen naturally through working with these particular clients, etc. And everything you described is a really good case for any agency that is considering niching down, maybe a bit fearful about the idea of focusing on just one industry, because you were saying they say to you that you really get them, and all of these benefits to them are very attractive. They make your agency very attractive to them. Let's talk about marketing, and I'm guessing referral is going to be one of your biggest ways that you guys generate leads, but how else may you generate leads in your collective?
Okay, so referral's a big thing. When I started out 10 years ago, I went to every networking event I could find, everything. And joined every business group that I could. Some evenings I went to 2 or 3 networking events back to back. That's quite intense. So that's how we built up a client base. But over that time, obviously, that's not sustainable. That's quite heavy going. So moving into the niche means I can really focus now on life science events. Yeah. And again, luckily in the Northeast, there are some clusters that do have active events. So that brings in leads. Obviously, the collective, we share contacts and any leads that we get. So even if I get a lead that's just copywriting, I'll pass that on to my copywriter. But I also do a lot of blogging. I like writing blog posts. My copywriter writes blog posts. All the team do, really. They'll add content. So I try and write a really good, helpful article for the life sciences sector at least once a month. I can get 2 in a month. That's great. I also write articles on the separate side of things that I do. I do a bit of WordPress training. So I write articles just to help those businesses that want to get to grips with WordPress, because we use WordPress and I really like the community and I want to give back. Yeah. So that's my kind of giving back to them. So with life sciences, it's networking, going to the events, letting people know what we do, writing articles. So when I go to the events, I chat to them about what problems they've got, what issues. And then I write an article about it. But we've also started in the past 3 or 4 months quite an intensive LinkedIn strategy. Okay. A connection strategy. So my other colleague in the collective is a marketing strategist. So we're focusing on how can we build more connections in life sciences, because we don't want to stick to the UK. We're happy to kind of go globally. Yeah. So we're slowly building up a connection strategy on LinkedIn. So that's the focus.
That's really good. So we've got obviously your networking and referrals. We've got attending events. I can definitely back that up. We've made some of our biggest jobs and biggest sales through attending events and getting to know the people there. You've got content marketing. You're giving back through training, and you've adopted a brand new, last few months, LinkedIn strategy, of which I'm intrigued to see how that goes.
Yeah. I think awesome. It's a long process, but yeah, that's really a strong focus, and we want to see how that pans out for us.
That's really helpful. Thanks for sharing that. Now then, a question, you can answer this either as a collective or for you personally, but how would you measure success? What would be a measurement for you to feel success, satisfaction in something?
Well, I think for me, but also knowing the team, without sounding kind of too business-like, it's if the clients are happy. Yeah. If they're happy, if their business is growing, if we typically work with kind of the marketing department or a marketing team, if they're getting some wins, if they're doing well, and if my clients are doing well, then I've delivered, and they'll come back to me for more, they'll refer me on. So that, to me, that's a measure of success. And also if my accountant's happy, that's a measure of success.
If your accountant's happy.
If she's happy, then I'm happy.
Good.
But yes, mainly clients. If they're successful, brilliant. They'll come back to me for more.
Awesome. All right. Well, it's only me and you and a few thousand listeners, so it's now confession time. And what do you think as an agency, as a collective, would be the biggest problem that you may have that you are striving to overcome?
Well, again, mainly me, but knowing some of the people in my collective, it's time, it's juggling. Family time. If it was just me and you, then I'd say that for me the biggest challenge is working around the school times. The education system seems to be stacked in the UK. Seems to be stacked against business owners,
9
working
till 3.
parents. It's random school closures and constant school holidays. It's I have a spreadsheet based on kids and school and work, so that's my challenge. It's
I'm with you. The struggle is real, and teacher training days and the other days. It is.
And I've got 2 kids at 2 different schools, and they have different days and slightly different timings, and it's just. And then some of my collective as well have got kids, and we're all juggling. So, hence the flexibility.
The struggle is real. Why can't they do 9 to 5, and why can't they just always be in school? I don't know. But hey, brilliant. That'd be wonderful. Problem solved. Well, let's talk about well-being. And first of all, in our industry, as web developers, as designers, I can speak for myself here, I never or hardly ever switch off. So I'm asking this question of a lot of agency owners because I want to learn the best methods of switching off. And if you are able, how do you switch off to relax?
Yeah, so that is quite challenging because, again, I've always been in this sector, so it's always in my head. Yeah. I never really switch off. But getting away from my desk, sitting in the garden, having a glass of wine. I love gardening. I love taking a break like that. I I used to be an illustrator, so if I can do a bit of drawing with the kids, and the kids like drawing, so if I can sit down and just draw, because that really focuses your mind. And it gets away from something digital, so you're drawing and kind of expressing yourself that way. So I think they're my ways of switching off if I'm concentrating on illustrating, whether it's me or with the kids, or if I can go in the garden. I'm quite lucky here. I've got quite a big garden, and we're quite keen gardeners, so that's a way of switching off.
I'll echo the doing something not digital. I don't know if you see behind me, we've got some old cameras, so I love doing old film photography. Anything that's manual, that does not like a lost art, or even drawing. We do a lot of drawing, a lot of painting and stuff like that. Just stuff that's not what I do all the time. And my problem is I'm still thinking about it secretly in the back of my mind.
Even when I was working at the agencies, anywhere I worked across the UK, I'd look for an arts class or a drawing class. Because obviously working in an agency, it's deadlines, it's specific, I'm answering a brief. But if I could go to an arts class and completely switch off and just draw or paint, then for me that's a good way of switching off.
Perfect. Get your pencils out, folks. Right. Next question is, how do you stay healthy? Because a lot of the time we are chained to our desks.
So I'm quite keen on that. I always have been. Again, either hunched over a drawing board or a computer. So I do regular Pilates. I've been doing Pilates for many years, which is great for posture, strength. I go to as many fitness classes as I can. So I try and do a regular Saturday morning boot camp fitness class. And then just get to what I can in the evening. But again, it's tricky when you've got kids and they get in and they want help with homework. And
it sounds like you're already doing 99% more than I'm doing, though.
Yeah, so I do try and move, and my watch tells me to stand up regularly.
Okay.
So it is really important because be it having a desk job, you need to move. And I would recommend Pilates to everybody. Do it. It's great for shoulders, posture, definitely.
Well, depending when this episode goes out, you'll either be before or after your Ailes episode, where we talk about yoga, and we actually have a discussion about Pilates, because we're comparing like the physical exercise of running, which is quite jarring on your bones, etc., and you're always sweating and you're just exhausted afterwards. It's not necessarily the greatest thing, whereas something like Pilates, you don't have that afterwards, but you are strengthening your muscles.
Absolutely, low impact
posture, etc. And it's something that my daughter's been doing a lot of because she's got scoliosis. It's something that they've recommended, and we've got someone who comes in and like a personal trainer that's actually helping her through it. So it's something that I'm going to I've started with walking. And its next step is probably Pilates. Okay, tools. This is our last question, and that is, what tool that you use do you feel? Sorry, let me rephrase that. So, what tool do you use as an agency that you feel has been essential in your success?
Yeah. So, thinking about this, it's actually a collection of tools. So, I can't live without Adobe Creative Cloud. I love it. I use all of the tools all of the time. And now they've gone to subscription based, which I know they did a few years ago. It's fantastic. I love it. I get access to everything. It's all the latest software. I couldn't run what we do without it. So to me, Adobe Creative Cloud is just fantastic. I will
accept that as an answer, even though that is at least 20 tools.
And I was just going to show you here. I've even got a really old version.
Oh, wow.
Of I still keep this. So that's got a disc in it, and it's dated from '96. That's when
amazing.
I started using Photoshop just before that. So I use it every day, probably. So Adobe Creative Cloud is my absolute. I couldn't live without it.
I think one of the best things about Creative Cloud is the fact that if you are in the Adobe infrastructure, I guess is the right word, then it doesn't matter what device you have. If you've got a Mac or a PC, because we've actually switched from Mac to PC, and we're still able to use all of the exact same applications. Although we have been
years ago, that was quite challenging, but now it's easy.
That's awesome. Well, Belinda, you've been an absolute legend, and learning about your agency is absolutely fascinating, especially the idea of a collective. I think there'll be other people listening who might want to explore that. So
I did it a few years ago, and the client feedback's been fantastic.
Awesome.
So that's good as well.
Well, based on that, how can people connect with you? Because I'm sure you're going to get some questions.
So I'm on Twitter, so at Arttia, Arttia. That's a great place to connect with me. I'm on LinkedIn as Arttia Creative. So they're the best two places. And I am on Instagram as Arttia Creative, and I love Instagram. I'm very visual.
We keep commenting.
I'd rather be on Instagram than anywhere else. So definitely connect with me on Instagram.
She's quite prevalent on Instagram, as am I, and we keep commenting on each other's things recently.
I love it.
So yes, awesome. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day.
You're very welcome.